So you're doing all the things. You are posting, you are dancing, you are going to networking events every single day, putting content out there, putting yourself out there, all for the sake of driving leads and sales into your consulting business. But even though you're making all of those efforts, all you are getting in return is crickets. Yeah. I know how that feels. And so does one of my coaching clients. Because in our most recent call, she told me, I'm doing all the stuff, CP. But it turns out that she wasn't doing something very, very important. And that might be your problem too. So today I'm pulling back the curtain once again and having you join me on my coaching call where we will work through why you're not getting leads in your business and how to fix it. Let's get to work.
Tell me a little bit about your business and how things are going.
Take it, Renee.
So, RBG Virtual Solutions is a virtual support agency where we place virtual administrators in specific roles to help businesses grow. So we give them someone who can help them take things off their plates, do tasks that are not their primary business so that they can have more time to do what they went into business for. So that's RBG in a nutshell.
Love it.
And we have started already implementing all the things that we learned in the boot camp and then some. Like we took everything that you taught us and we dove in head first. We have our MailChimp sequences set up. We did, our landing page, our freebies. We even did our first ad. Just all the things that you told us to do. And we were like, yes, come on, clients.
Yes.
And crickets.
Okay.
So that's where we are. And we're like, okay, we need to use our coaching call to figure out where our disconnect is because we did our business plan, and in figuring out our financials and all of that, Chad was very helpful in helping us figure all the things out and
making all of our social media content.
Yes, and that,
Okay.
which we have, thanks to Rachel, we have social media already scheduled through this month.
Nice.
So like we're doing all those things and our financials showed us like the number of clients that we could get, even if it was just on a very, very conservative basis, was astronomical to us.
Yeah.
Just
doing happy dances in our hotel room because we even did our first business overnighter.
You did your retreat.
We did our first retreat.
Wasn't that an amazing experience?
Oh my gosh. And
amazing
so funny.
Until we crashed our website.
Right, we did. We crashed out our website completely, which took weeks to get back up and running before we could even get the landing page up. And we did it leading into our church's annual women's retreat. So Renee and I spent the night before the retreat working all night and that whole day leading up to the retreat. And at one point we were in our hotel room fighting each other. And the women from the retreat come knocking on the door to give us our gift bags, and we're in the hotel room just yelling.
We do that sometimes.
It's all right. That's what sisters do.
That's right.
Yeah, as soon as they left, that gave us the second we needed to regroup, find our compromise.
Were you cracking up when they left?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, start cracking
that's the image we're going into the women's retreat with. Rachel and Renee were in that hotel room going at it.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay. All right. So now it sounds like you've got all the stuff on the back end. We just need to talk about some attraction, right? Like your attraction. First, I want you to know how proud I am of you guys for putting in that work, because it is work. And there are so many entrepreneurs out there that just don't put that work in, don't implement. And they have nothing when it starts really popping. So the attraction piece First of all, I have to let you know that it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I need you to wrap your arms around the marathoning that takes
I
place.
know. I think we really thought that like, okay, we'll do everything Cheryl says, and by January 1st, we'll have 5 clients ready to go, right? And like knowing
You
that's
very well could.
unrealistic, it's the hope, right? It is that we've got it all figured out, and it's going to be great. And like our Facebook metrics and our Instagram metrics right now really are measuring very, very well,
Mm-hmm.
but none of it is going.
Converting.
And so that's where, like, clearly we need to tweak there because we are working through figuring out grants. We have a potential like line of capital that I haven't pulled the trigger on yet, but like I can because right now we really also just like I can't keep neither one of us can keep sinking money into marketing until there's a known return coming in, right? Like
Right.
I could put a little bit more on my credit card,
Right.
but I need to know how quickly I can pay that off of my credit card as well.
Right.
Right.
So I would start with first you did some ads. And ads, let's go there first.
Yeah.
Ads are definitely something that I recommend when you are ready to scale, right? But
Okay.
not necessarily initially, because you will invest in the ad piece. And the best part about it is to focus really initially on some organic traffic so that you can perfect the funnel, so that you can perfect the process. Because it will, once someone comes in and sees your landing page, and you can check the conversions on those. Once you get your conversions to a certain level, then you know that the actual process itself, the workflow is optimized. Then you can say, all right, now we just got to do some ads. And ads requires a whole different content on the landing page and on the sales page because they're completely cold, right? Oh, I would definitely recommend pulling back from the ads just now and focusing more on the attraction method. So tell me a little bit about your marketing channels. What have you chosen? Because I know that the boot camp wasn't around like creating that marketing piece, but what have you chosen to be your primary marketing channels in your marketing strategy?
So we've started going really heavy on Facebook and Instagram. Between the two, I'm scheduling 5 to 6 posts a week on both. So some days it's both, some days it's one or the other. And really, especially like from when I looked last week to when I looked this week, our reach it has grown. We've tapered off a little over the last few days. So I really have to do more into like what I'm actually posting that is gaining attraction and whatnot. But even like, what was it, yesterday or the day before, I signed into my Facebook and was like death scrolling, and like 6 times in a row, one of our things popped up that either RBG had shared or somebody that we know had shared for us, or like, and just to see it in that's the most I've seen RBG in my own news feed,
Mm-hmm.
which was really, really exciting. And then Renee is going to start now taking all of the stuff that I've already am creating for Facebook and Instagram, and she is starting a really heavy deep dive into LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay. So your ICA profile that we created in the Leap Process Lab, what did you uncover about where your ICA is? Let's talk through this ICA because typically, if you're not seeing like engagement really, well, let me take a step back. First things first. Can you see the metrics of folks who've landed on your landing page? Are people even landing on your landing page?
No.
Okay, so we're not going to focus on the landing page conversion yet. We're going to go a step back and say the attraction piece is there, and that's usually a messaging thing. Whatever
Mhm.
that content is, isn't resonating with a particular audience. So who, as an ICA, are we focusing on? Are we just saying
Sales.
all small business owners?
We're for our social media specifically, which is obviously mostly what we're focused on. I do a couple like sneak peeks here and there, but it's females 35 to 50 entrepreneurs. And the ad that we posted, because we ran like one ad for like 10 days or something, um like end of November into the beginning of December. The very, very only lead that we got so far was exactly that. It was a hairdresser local in Twinsburg, Ohio. she's got to be 38, 39 years old. And we just were way out of her price range. But her like up client that she like rents her space from and all of that owns the Paul Mitchell School here in Twinsburg and the one in Columbus and a studio in Twinsburg. And so she had said, like, I don't know that they'll call you, but like they can afford you and they can use you, and what you're doing would be great. So I probably do need to follow up on that because we haven't heard anything. But I wonder if, like, when we created our ICA profile, that it maybe we have focused too much into the small business owner.
Okay.
And that maybe we need to set our sights a little bit higher to find the people that can actually like afford, you know what I mean? What we're, because like, so like my best friend from high school just texted me. She works for a local restaurant here in Northfield, and she was like, what would it cost Kevin? And I was like, I've been to that restaurant a million times. Kevin can't afford it. Like I already know that, you know, he's already struggling to pay his bills. He doesn't have $2,000 a month to start, you know? And so like I think that like we both thought that small business owners would be the easy way to pull on a couple clients, but maybe we've set our sights too low on that.
I don't think that that's the issue. I think that what you're saying is the issue. So for instance, if you're putting out content and messaging around, you're a small business owner, you're overwhelmed in your day-to-day tasks, and you're trying to convince people that they need, you know, a VA, that's going to be a much harder sell than focusing on small business owners who are looking for a VA.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're spending more time going through this psychological process of trying to convince people that they need to invest in a VA, which that's who it sounds like you're attracting. You're attracting people.
No, I think you're 100% right.
You're attracting people who think that they, you know, definitely want the help. So what you're saying is resonating, right? What you're saying is resonating. You need the help. Yes, I need the help. But that person has already made up in their mind that they're going to do the work and not get the help until they can afford to get the help.
Just like me and Renee.
Yeah. What you want is someone who is looking, already has decided that they want help. And that means there's a whole different process and thought process that somebody who's already decided that they're hiring comes with. Someone who has decided that they're looking for an administrative assistant, or that they're looking for a VA to do something, or that they're looking for, you know, someone to help with marketing, or they're looking for some of those things, then they've already looked at the market. They see how much those people are making. And they also understand that when I hire someone as a W-2, that it comes with the salary plus 30 or 40% because of taxes and workers' comp and benefits and all of those things, right? Versus looking at it and saying, so now my budget for this person is $30,000 a year or $36,000 a year, but I really need to set aside $40,000 a year because I'm looking at W-2. So that person gets on the call with you, and $2,000 is a relief, not a stretch. And the shift only comes from what you're saying in your social media messaging. So now that you've seen, okay, whatever we're saying is attracting this person that knows that they need the help, then maybe you think to yourself, all right, well, let's create a package. If that's who we want to attract, if that's who you really want to work with, because you want to bring that value and you want to have that impact with that audience, then the only other thing that you can do is revisit your packages and the services that you're providing and create one that is kind of a beginner package. Maybe they hire someone for 8 hours a month where they're getting someone just to kind of help them and get their feet wet. You create that kind of a ladder in your product and service portfolio. If you don't want to do that, then you want to focus now your messaging on someone who's already looking for someone else. So your messaging shifts to, do you want to get this stuff off your plate, to, do you need to hire someone and don't want to take on all the expensive benefits, workers' comp, you know, taxes on that person, and you also want someone that has the problem-solving skills and the entrepreneurial mindset to get it done without you having to use hours of your time training them, then what you're looking for is a VA, right? It's a whole separate messaging. And so that is where I would probably say, just listening to what you're going through, and listening to who you've already attracted, that's that tweak in order for you to get that ideal customer. So I would go back into that ICA profile and even into chat and say, all right, chat, we're not just looking for small business owners, right? We're looking for small business owners who are in the process of building their team, who are hiring for their team, who are looking for support, who are posting positions.
Yeah, I mean this because our messaging so much. I mean, you're like what you're spot on, obviously. Is so much of, are you overwhelmed? We can help. Are you overwhelmed? We can do it. Do you need to outsource? Pick RBG. And that's a totally. I think your message comes across as more confident, maybe than the message that we're currently putting out, because now you're assuming the sale.
Yeah. And now
You're looking to hire, you're going to hire us.
correct. And it makes more sense to hire us.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense to hire us.
I mean, look at us. We're great.
Yeah. Right? And if you've got a group of small business owners or nonprofits or whomever they are that are looking for, that are actually hiring, then they're already in the mindset. You don't have to convince them to bring on their first employee. And that's not who you are targeting, if that's where your price point is. You're not targeting people who are looking to make their first hire. You're targeting people who are looking to add to their team. They've already got a team, they've got positions available, they're trying to scale, they're adding various people. And then you can also hone in on specific VA services. So, for instance, not only do you shift that messaging to say, are you looking to add to your team? Are you already looking to add to your team? This is why we're better. But now you can also hone in on a particular team member.
Like the social media manager.
Correct. Want to expand your reach on trying to figure out how to balance content and customers and all of those things in your life and in your business. And I thought, I know I need to add this person to my team to expand it because your administrative assistant isn't doing a great job, right? Doesn't have that expertise. Marketing coordinators, marketing assistants, social media managers are amazing to outsource, not taking on all of the responsibility of workers' comp, of benefits, of taxes, but still has an expert able to deliver on your promise that's assigned directly to you. Take a look at this particular piece, right? And so I would say, how much competitive research have you guys done?
Probably none.
Okay.
I don't think we've done anything more than initially what the organizations that we previously worked for were doing.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is give you guys access to my competitor research handbook. It is an online course. It is a audio training, so you can listen to it on the go. And it comes with a extremely, probably psycho, workbook that it helps you work through and identify your competitors. And what I love about it isn't so that you can just go out there guns a-blazing, competing, but it also gives you so much insight into the market. And what other people who are doing the exact same thing that you're doing are doing, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel and you don't have to start from scratch. You can find those top VA services in the area that you're targeting, see what their websites look like, see what their websites are doing well, which social media platforms they're on, what their packages and services look like, what their messaging says, who they're targeting, and then what's missing, right? What are they not doing that you can then bring in as a unique value proposition, right? And if you're focusing on females, that makes it even more of a niche, because the messaging can be very female targeted as well, right? Very, what we like to hear. And 35 to 50, what's that? Perimenopause, menopause. You can also talk about some of that because that's on our minds.
I love to talk about that.
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, let us take away the hot flashes for you, seriously. Right? And that, those types of, so just honing in on the messaging. So you're not doing anything wrong. You are doing amazing. Do not give up.
Since
we've talked about kind of the messaging, now let's talk about expanding that marketing strategy a little bit. So when you're putting together a marketing strategy, this is what I always tell folks. It doesn't have to be, because I know you ladies are very detail oriented and that the rabbit hole can suck you in like it can me. So I want you to first remove from your mind, because I said marketing strategy, I want you to remove from your mind the traditional belief that a strategy has to be a 25-page document. Done. Because when you think of business plan or marketing plan, my brain used to always go, oh my God, 20 pages and it has to have like all these certain categories. No. You're going to put together a 2-3 page maximum, maybe 4, depending upon how big your font is, marketing strategy. And all you're going to focus on is who, right? So the what of what you're marketing, which package, which service, which thing, product or service are you really going to be marketing? Obviously, you're marketing your VA services. Maybe you're going to even pare it down a little bit so that the messaging can hone in even more on, all right, we're looking at our pool of graphic designers, marketing assistants, and we're going to go all in on the marketing assistance packages, right? And then you're going to say, that's my what. That's what I'm marketing. The who is obviously your ICA. Who are you marketing to? And you got a little bit of tweaking to do with that with Chat, and you know he'll do it quickly for you so that you can kind of go in and now adjust, say, Chat, thank you so much for your previous ICA, but we want to hone in a little bit more specifically on business owners, small business owners and entrepreneurs who are already in growth stage. So you're not looking at startup entrepreneurs, you're looking at growth stage entrepreneurs. And you're going to put that paragraph in that same prompt that I've given you before in describing exactly who that person is. And so that means you have to do a little bit of research.
Your prompts so much. You too, Cheryl. Thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely.
We really couldn't do this without you.
Good luck. I cannot wait to see all those lunch and learns and lunch and learn and podcast moves.
Yes, girl, get some rest. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
You feel better soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You an entrepreneur. I got